All right, so today we are talking about a couple things. Number one, this is the big one, Catalyst Browse. Catalyst Browse has been updated. I didn't even realize it had been updated, but someone had commented on a video that I put out a little while ago in regards to the ZV-1F, which is what I'm shooting with right now, that the ZV-1F, which couldn't use Catalyst Browse, because I tried, and I talked to Sony and they said no, now can. So I don't know what kind of miracle they did to allow that, but it does. Has all the data inside it. We're good to go. Catalyst Browse now I think is version 3, 3.01, 3. I can't remember, something like that. So number one for me, which is big, is the ZV-1F now can use that, because its stabilization was decent, but not to the level that I kind of was hoping that it could. But now that is fixed, totally fixed. Number two is that Catalyst Browse with the new update has some really cool features in it. Probably one primary feature in it, not outside or not including the fact that there's more cameras now that it can use. But probably the biggest one is that it has this new graph on it, which I'll show you. And that graph allows you to see I guess the gyro data, so that you can take a look and be like, oh, I don't care about that one. Let's look at the main ones and kind of set up how much stabilization that you actually want for the clip. And I think that's probably one of the biggest and best features of the new update. So let's go record some footage that's shaky, right, with this camera, and we'll play with Catalyst Browse. Okay, so we are shooting again on the ZV-1F. Now again, this camera shouldn't be able to use Catalyst Browse, but it does, and you guys are going to see that. Well, you've probably already seen it. Now you're seeing the difference of it when it's stabilized versus not stabilized. And this is one of the things that I was showing you. So if I was like, there's my door, right? Back out here. And because now the one thing to realize too, just so you guys realize this, I am shooting the ZV-1F with a Ulanzi adapter on it that gives it that extra width. So that's my setup. And one of the things that I found before was that with the Ulanzi on there, even with the normal steady shot, I don't know if it was because of the extra width and the camera just didn't quite understand why it was so wide. You really got a lot of weird artifacting, jelloing kind of stuff on the outside, where the stabilization was just like, no, I don't like that. Anyways, that seems to all go away when you're using Catalyst Browse with the steady feature turned off. And I think it may even take it away when the steady shot's turned on. So I'm going to turn the steady shot on right now, and we'll continue the video and go inside. Okay, so as of now, I have the steady shot turned on, and you can see it's definitely not quite as wide as it was before. My arm's at the same reach. So the Ulanzi, it was good. It was really good when you use steady shot, but you still didn't get the full width. So now though, you've got steady shot going on, and you're going to be able to take it into Catalyst Browse and figure out some more magic with that. So this is where I'm normally sitting doing this stuff, and it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. All right, guys, so we have Catalyst Browse open right here on screen, and first off, just to verify that you have the newest one. And what's the newest one? First thing that you'll notice is if you do have the new one, Catalyst Browse, their actual icon is different. It's changed. It used to be this like purple icon. Now it's this blue one. Also up on Catalyst Browse here, you'll see that it is version 2023.1.0.975 as of time of filming. So I thought it was version 3, but it's 2023 is what they're saying. Also, if you don't see this icon after you've updated, just shut the software back down and back up, and you'll get the new icon if that at all matters. Anyways, what you can see here is I put the card in. You guys saw the video that I recorded previously. I just went outside and recorded this, and I recorded the first part with no image stabilization turned on. I recorded the second part with the steady shot turned on. And normally this wouldn't show up, but as you can see, and I've recorded a bunch of footage over the last 2 days. If you guys want to go check out a little vlog video that I put out last week, it was in regards to us getting our new car, our new old car. All of that was shot with my ZV-1F. All of that was then put through Catalyst Browse, which is awesome. Anyways, you'll see all this footage has the steady shot, including the one that has the steady shot turned on, but it has the ability, you can stabilize this icon on it, which is kind of cool. So we're going to pick the first one. There it is right there. And again, you can kind of tell if we kind of open this up a little bit, just browse on it, you can really see like how not steady it is, right? So what we're going to do is take this one here. We're going to go down to stabilize. We'll hit analyze. And here's my favorite part. This is my favorite part. Not only just because it can now stabilize the ZV-1F footage, but you get this graph at the bottom. You guys see this graph? And what happens is it said, I need to zoom in all this amount to be able to stabilize this properly. And the reason that it's there is because of this peak right here. And I know for a fact that that peak is because that's where I went through the patio door. So if I take my playhead, for instance, and I bring it back here, you can see that's exactly that spot. So it's trying to stabilize that, and it says there's a lot of movement here, right? And then I do it again on this side. So I don't really care that this is shaky, because it is shaky. What I care about is all this other stuff. And the biggest amount of shake was probably in and around here. So what I can do is take basically how much it's going to stabilize and bring this down till it kind of just touches those. So there's one over there. I'm going to bring it up to about there. So it says now we are stabilizing with a maximum amount of a 0.13 crop. So it used to be in the old one that it did the cropping amount the other way around. It was kind of for a percentage. So it would be like 90%. Now you're other way. So now I'm saying like it's 87% because it's 13. But if you look at this, and we'll go back here and we'll let it, I'll turn the volume down here because you guys don't need to hear this, is that when we're playing here, look how steady that is compared to what it was over there. And I go through the door. Don't mind that that's shaky because it is what it is. And then the steady hooks right back up again. Yes. And that's with the Ulanzi. And again, the Ulanzi used to give me, and you can see it here, like crazy little distortion. Because of that crop, it's good. Now, if I really wanted to, I could come in here and be like, okay, so it peaked right there a little bit. That's not that big of a deal. Let's bring it down a little bit more. And you can see this kind of zoom back out a little bit, right? Just to kind of get what it needs to. Let's just make sure we'll set that back up to fit right there. So now we come in here and take a look, and we can be like, how's that for? Oh, that's fine. It's got a little bit of extra shake, but not enough that I would be concerned. And all that shake normally took place kind of over here. Yeah, that's all right. I'm down with that. And then all we have to do now is click up here, export, tell it where it's going to go. I have it set up to an external drive for me. I usually keep everything the same, but you can go in and change some stuff if you really want to. And then you hit the export button. So we're going to let this export. Now again, with Catalyst Browse, because it's freeware, only works with Sony cameras. You can't do any kind of batch. If you do want to be able to do like batch processing, which would be really nice, you have to pay for like a monthly service to use Catalyst Prepare. It's not overly expensive, and if you were doing like vlogs, using a Sony camera, like 1 or 2 or 3 of them like a week, I'd say it's totally worth it. Totally worth it. For me, I only do a vlog video with these kind of cameras. Most of the time they're stationary, but if I do a vlog video, it's normally, once every week or maybe once every 2 weeks or something like that. The odd time I do more, especially if I'm traveling. So like this summer, for instance, I will wish I had Prepare, and I may actually download Catalyst Prepare and just do like a 1-month membership if that's something that you can do. I'm not 100% sure, but anyways, we're gonna hit OK here, and we're gonna let that fire off. This though, just so you guys know, depending on the size of the clip, as you can see up here, it's not a fast process. It never has been. It really hasn't sped up. The one nice thing that I have to say is, for me on a Mac Studio, it does use all my cores, which is good. It isn't using really much of the GPU cores. I don't think it maybe necessarily understands how those work. Maybe because, Sony is used to doing Windows stuff. But it works great. I actually have done it on my M1 Mac, doing it on the Studio. Is it fast? No, but do one, go do something else, do another one, do something else. The results, that's what matters, right? The results. I'll be back and we'll do the other one. All right, my friends, so we are down to the last 20 seconds, which is good, but just realize it's a 1.5-minute clip, and it took between 7 and 8 minutes. So definitely not a fast process. So again, if you are shooting a lot of clips that are, could be even a whole bunch of clips that are a minute long, these are long render times, rewriting times. So have some time set aside for this kind of stuff, or like I said, invest in Prepare, which is something I'll probably end up doing maybe for our holidays, because I'll have a lot of clips. So there it is, all done, which is awesome. I got it stored on the external, which is cool. But let's go back here. We got to just close all this, cancel, and we go back to browse. Now this is the one here again that was using the steady shot. Now you can do stuff here like adjust color if you really wanted to. So I could come in here, and there is some basic color correcting if you wanted to. There's like a before and after shot if that was something that you were like, oh, I want to play around with color. I do that in my color correcting, but I can see how that could be useful for someone that wants it color graded, maybe before it goes to an editor, etc., etc. But let's click back on here, stabilize. Now, just so you guys know, if you are on a screen, I'll just close this for a second. If you are on a, say, a laptop screen and you don't see this stabilize, it could be this because the screen can't show you everything because it's a smaller screen and it just doesn't have the screen real estate. If that's the case and you don't see the stabilize down here or any of these, you can go under tools and you'll see stabilize right there. These will show up inside, so you can click that and it does the exact same thing. Anyways, this is it here. This is the one using steady shot. We'll just do a quick analyze. This one shouldn't have as much of a peak. Yeah, you'll see there, it only needed 0.15. There is some peaks. So what you can do is kind of just see where those peaks were. And this peak was there, not a big deal. And there's a peak here, same kind of thing. That's during a spin, right? So because of that, I may be like, that's not really that important for me, So it actually said this was the main ones that it was kind of ignoring, but I could come down here and be like, primarily I'm looking at somewhere in and around this mark, just to make sure I get the majority of those done, which again, cropped. But if we go back and play these, just to kind of bring these back a little bit, you actually see that it does take a fair bit of that jitter out. Like, it's the jitter I find on these that is the biggest, especially if you're using like a wide angle attachment, and it totally takes that jitter out. The jitter's just gone. Now, again, that little pan there, it peaks, but that's not a big deal. So I'm going to do the exact same thing here. We're going to export this, let that render back out. Again, I can only do one of these at a time. Let that fire out. This is a bit of a shorter clip, so it should take about half the amount of time, only being 45 seconds. My guess is still going to take 4-ish minutes. And then what I'll do is I'll just play these at the end of the video in their stabilized state so you guys can see the results. But as far as I'm concerned, huge update for Catalyst Browse, and makes
even the Sony ZV-1F and any of the other Sony cameras, to be honest, that much better. That graph feature, it's so good. So good. All right, guys, I'm going to leave you there. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit that little notification bell. If you do have a Sony camera, my recommendation is to get this piece of software because it's so good. So good. Later.
Okay, so we are shooting again on the ZV-1F. Now again, this camera shouldn't be able to use Catalyst Browse, but it does, and you guys are going to see that. Well, you've probably already seen it. Now you're seeing the difference of it when it's stabilized versus not stabilized. And this is one of the things that I was showing you. So if I was like, there's my door, right? Back out here. And because now the one thing to realize too, just so you guys realize this, I am shooting the ZV-1F with a Ulanzi adapter on it that gives it that extra width. So that's my setup. And one of the things that I found before was that with the Ulanzi on there, even with the normal steady shot, I don't know if it was because of the extra width and the camera just didn't quite understand why it was so wide. You really got a lot of weird artifacting, jelloing kind of stuff on the outside where the stabilization was just like, no, I don't like that. Anyways, that seems to all go away when you're using Catalyst Browse with the steady feature turned off. And I think it may even take it away when the steady shot's turned on. So I'm going to turn the steady shot on right now and we'll continue the video and go inside. Okay, so as of now I have the steady shot turned on and you can see it's definitely not quite as wide as it was before. My arm's at the same reach. So the Ulanzi it was good. It was really good when you use steady shot, but you still didn't get the full width. So now though, you've got steady shot going on and you're going to be able to take it into Catalyst Browse and figure out some more magic with that. So this is where I'm normally sitting doing this stuff, and it's going to be good. It's going to be good.